Hey book readers, this is Christy with Tatted Hat Girl Reads. Thank you for being here. I took last week off and we're going to address that, but also we're going to address in this video the books that I just finished in the month of August, the mini book haul that also coincides with also my TBR for the month of August. So let's just dive into some little bit of storytelling and then talking about some books. Okay, so the first little bit of news is I did take last week off and I am sorry, but I do feel more re-energized today. This video is going to be a little bit more relaxed because I actually feel a little more relaxed. There's been some decisions made, some things that have just laid out that you couldn't ask for them to lay out better. And I could not be more thrilled to take my degree from University of North Carolina, Wilmington to University of North Texas. I wasn't very excited at first. Here's where the storytelling comes in. I wasn't very excited at first because it was an art degree just so that I could get photography. And photography is all I want to do. If UNT had just a photography program, I would not have changed my path. However, because you have to take so much art and you have to submit a portfolio, no problem there, except for the fact I'm not very artsy. So I might not have ever gotten approved for residency. And that scared me because then I would not make it to the more advanced classes for photography. I can learn photography other ways without having to invest time into a university 4-year degree. So I decided to switch my degree to creative writing. And as I was waiting for my new advisor to come around and say, let's have a sit down, I look over and there's a flyer there. Writing, use your writing skills and degree for tech communications. Hold on, I can become a tech writer at UNT. So as soon as I got into the advisor's office, I said, I know I said creative writing and that's literally why I'm sitting in this chair right now. I was just going to go ahead and just transfer my degree. Maybe even more of my credits would have benefited me from previous schools. And maybe this will be a 2.5 or 3-year degree versus a 4-year degree. But I'm willing to start over. So we put me in Bachelor of Science of Tech Communications, and I could not be more excited. Even though, yes, it does mean almost starting over, this is where home feels. And so, yes, I feel a little lighter. Some resolution this week has happened. And some things, thanks to having a veteran's husband, some financial situations have laid out with that. Yes, I had some fees to still pay, but it was nothing like the debt that I've already accrued with student loans. So I'm very blessed and very thankful right now for this opportunity and the way the opportunity has laid out. What does that mean for Tatted Hat Girl Reads? I'm sitting here right now, very excited, very happy to be here. And that lets me know that I'm not ready to shut down Tatted Hat Girl Reads yet. At most, I would thin out how often. I might go to twice a month. But for now, we're just going to keep on the path we're going. In other words, the goal is to post weekly, Mondays at 9 a.m. Central Time. And I will be in class at that exact moment, actually. So while you're watching these videos, I'll actually be in class. And it is my goal to continue that. And if I need to take a week off, then I'll take a week off. Just like I did last week, just to get some things handled and done. Midterms, that very much could happen. Finals, that very much could happen. However, at this time, that would be the only thing that would shift. And it's something I'm not planning at this time, is to switch to every other week or even monthly, because talking books is fun. It doesn't feel like a job. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and dive right on in to this week's video. Thank you for sitting there through that. So let's go ahead and dive into the books that I have read in the month of August. I cannot believe that I stuck to a TBR. So no one can know. This was a fantastic, fun read. It was fast pacing. This book is, I want to say, less than 320 pages. The pacing was wonderful. You got a little bit of backstory and a previous set of murders that causes just some future heartache. And this husband and wife now need to navigate their current life that leads them back into a family home, and where they're having to deal with not only the past, but also their future and potentially some other crimes that will be committed throughout the course of this story. It was wonderful. Again, fast-paced. I enjoyed the characters mostly. The plot was fantastic. Premises. The characters, like I said, were good. I rated this one a 4-star. I don't think I could have gone higher than that with this one, but fantastic read. Someone else is going to read this and say, yes, this is a 5-star for me. It was a fantastic, fun suspense. I do highly recommend this book without a doubt. book 2 for the month of August. I absolutely loved Riley Sager's book. This one was a 4-star. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. It was, again, fast-paced. It was less than 350, I think, in pages. It is, again, dealing with previous crimes and a daughter's revenge. She chooses a train for the setting for reasons you'll find out when you read the story, as the confrontation of people's wrongdoings to her family, and she has sent out one-way tickets to Chicago on this train. With that said, do not accept one-way tickets. It's not really a great future sign, and a lot of things go wrong, as you can expect. It gave me vibes of Scooby-Doo at moments where I'm just like, okay, you pesky kids, because the ball kept dropping and you were just like, it's just like one of those things that you just couldn't help but to giggle about a little bit. Like, of course that happened. And then the way it ended kind of got its 4 star. It's kind of what caused it to go from maybe a 4.2 down to a 4. The way it ended was okay, but I still had kind of questions. It wasn't resolved as much as maybe the author felt it was resolved. There was one question that I won't put out there, but I am kind of like, okay, that's cool, but what about that? We didn't flesh that out. However, it was a fun read. It gave it, with the train, it gave it an Agatha Christie. With some of the ball drops, it gave it a Scooby-Doo. So a little bit silly, but at the same time, it was because you were reading between the lines and I can't believe that happened, but yet at the same time, of course that happened. And it made it fun. There are people that definitely would have rated this one a 5-star. There are people I know that did rate this one a 5-star and kept asking me, how are you liking it? And I do. I love it. 4.1, 4.0. Fantastic review. You really can't be mad at that. That is a great review. I loved it. The next thing on our agenda. So the next book on our agenda is the one that I am currently reading. So what I've done this week is read like a chapter of several books to say, okay, what book is next off of my TBR? Not only for the year, but for the month of August. And I have to say, I keep coming back to The Blade itself because it has the character banter that I crave. So if you have other books out there that you know that maybe you've read this one, you know it's similar, or that you know the banter is intense, please put that in the comments below, because I am character driven with serious banter, serious conversation. And when I say serious conversation, I don't mean necessarily like the topic is serious. I mean that the author knows how to do conversation and characters. I love it, love it. There's 2 authors that I read because they're fantastic at it. Sam Sykes, which I think has kind of quit writing, or at least putting anything out. And Chuck Wendig, which is kind of one of my first of this style authors. And I crave this. I love a cozy fantasy, but I love just a high stakes, high fantasy book. And this book is nailing that for me. I will be continuing this one through the month of August. I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm only on, I think, chapter 6. So I'm not quite sure how long I've got ahead of me on this one and the pacing. School starts next week, so we'll see. But so far, I can say I highly recommend that one. For the world building, I'm not there yet, but for the character driven, absolutely a 5-star. All right, so now we're going to kind of go into what's left on my TBR for the month of August and my little baby mini book haul. The Empire of Silence I bought, I want to say a month or so ago, so you actually know about this one, but it is new to my shelf. And this is another one that I've read like a chapter of. Obviously, you just want to hold this book. Just walk around with it and hold it all day long. I am enjoying it so far, and I look forward to getting the rest of them. But first, I want to finish this one and be sure that I like it. It has been compared to Red Rising series, so I am here for this book. I am finding that I am liking sci-fi more than I realized. That's an interesting twist. Speaking of book hauls, let's see. The other book that I've read a chapter on this week is Jade City. I am really looking forward to this book. I cannot wait to get into this series because I had bought book 1 and 2 and didn't realize, I said this in one of my other videos, I didn't realize book 3 in paperback was actually out. My husband has the hardback of Empire of Silence and I don't have hardback, so I might switch that one. Jade City and this one, I didn't know this was in paperback. And saw it in Barnes & Noble the other day. And I've noticed that the pricing on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles are pretty close now, just a little heads up. And I think I bought this one on Amazon, but almost for the same cost it would have cost me in Barnes & Noble. So if you happen to be in there and they have it, you can check the pricing on Amazon, but the pricing has been close lately. fantastic so far. Again, proof that I am changing my style of reading a little bit. I have come from historical fiction, you guys. So big change for me. I'm evolving. The good news about that is I have something constantly to read. I am only one book away from finishing off my 30 book for the month or for the year of 2025 challenge. I could have probably hit more books. I was originally with my goal set. However, I thought I was going to get to the Brandon Sanderson series, Stormlight, and I did not. And I don't know that I will this year. But that is why I set my bar so low. I probably can hit 50, but with school too, who knows? The next book on the TBR list, this one's kind of new. I bought it this year. This one will help me probably hit the 30 because it's only even a 5-hour listen. So hopefully not much longer than that in the reading. The Ghostwriter of Philip Roth. I've talked about this one a few times. That is it being a TBR. It is on the month of August TBR. It is dealing with a writer that kind of goes to one of his heroes' house. They're also a writer, and just some interesting things happen while there. I don't know a lot about this one. Again, I don't read summaries. This one, I've read the back a little bit, kind of skimming it. I am very excited about it. It looks like it could be a potential, I don't know if I want to say cozy mystery, but kind of. Next book on my little baby book haul. First one was Jade City, book 3, and the next one was The Raven Scholar. This was the only one at Barnes & Noble's. And it is so gorgeous. I was going to walk away from it because it's like, man, I don't feel like another Academy style book. I just finished The Will of Many. It was fantastic. But again, another Academy setting. I'm kind of burnt out. And that's where I'm saying I'm tired of these that's the wrong word. I'm tired of certain cozy fantasies or just predictable fantasies. I want something kind of different. And The Blade itself is kind of fulfilling that and helping reset me fantastically. But my husband read the back of it, so I guess I wouldn't have to. I don't know. But he's like, hold on a minute. And he read the back of it. It's like, I don't think it's set in an academy. If you've read it and it is an academy, please don't tell me, because I do think I'm going to actually enjoy this one. I read only a chapter or two. I am looking forward to it. And I just walked through Barnes & Noble's going like that. You know, you just can't help it. They're so fantastic. I am looking forward to this one as well. And we'll do a review on all of these because so far the month is looking fantastic. July was great. June sucked. The rest of the year was great. But we're almost to our yearly goal. We're going to see if I can stay on that TBR path. We're doing pretty good at finishing up book 1 of all the series I own on my physical TBRs on my shelves. We're doing okay. We're focused, and that's good. We'll see what school does. But guys, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Why is that a hard word to say today? Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and thank you for encouraging me to keep going. I really do appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy reading. Bye.